Hello and welcome to this beautiful challenge. Who am I really?
Yes, absolutely. During these 4 days together, we are going to discover the truth of who you are and how to live a life of radical authenticity. And before we start, I just want to address the question. This is really important. And so I want you to keep this in mind as we go through these 4 days together. Why is it so important to know who you are? Why are we focusing so much this content over these days and really asking you to dive deep to figure this out? Well, number one, living a life of authenticity, knowing who you are, is so important for knowing what you want to create, right? How do you know what your goals should be? How do you know what it is that would actually be fulfilling? And Mia and I talk about this a lot because it's something that people bring to us all the time. They say, I thought when I had this much money in the bank, I was going to feel my life was going to be perfect. I thought when I had this kind of relationship, when I lost this many pounds, when I got this promotion, I thought I was going to feel so complete, but I don't. And that's where this piece of authenticity really comes in, because when you truly know yourself, you know exactly what brings you purpose and meaning and a life that is fulfilled. The other thing that is so brilliant about your authenticity and knowing who you really are is that version of you, your authentic self, is so powerful. Your authentic self knows exactly how to get the goals. It knows how to go about them. It knows how to work through all the challenges. So for the purpose of getting clarity around what you want and the purpose of bringing it into existence, your authentic self, or as we like to call it, your greatest self, is essential. So that's why you're here. That's why this work is so important. To create the life that you want, you have to start with connecting to that greatest self.
Beautiful. Now get this, everybody. This is incredible. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. I have actually, when I created my own life going forward, I had a similar thought process to that. It's so beautiful when we find alignment. So I just want you guys to also, in your authentic self, remember what your true alignment is. You simply cannot live a life that is not yours and find happiness. This challenge will teach you how to discover your truth, and live authentically and unapologetically.
Yeah.
If you don't know us, you may ask, who are Lori and Mia, and why bothering to listen to them? I add that part in because I think it's hysterical that it's just so funny. So Lori is a trained Nuaria method instructor. This is a powerful method that involves working with your thoughts and emotions to create your reality. She is also a somatic practitioner, trained informed eating psychology coach, and co-founder of the Greatest You Academy. She guides you powerfully on the path to self-actualization and authenticity by showing you how to connect deeply to your inner wisdom and overcome the blocks and self-imposed limitations that hold you back in all areas of life. She stands side by side with you as you build a strong foundation of self-love and higher guidance empowerment. And that is why we're partners.
That is why, yes. And listen to what I have to say about Mia, because Mia is a love activist. She's the creator of Women Making Miracles. She stands for love and supports you to do the same. She helps those who feel alone and yet dream of love to make love real in their lives so that they can go out and seed love into the world. She helps you develop yourself, your miracle, and finally develop your world. As a clairvoyant, she helps you tune into love's promise for your life and your work. Through her work as love teacher and coach, she has discovered the depth of love, and working through love opens up connections so that all of life's purposes flow. That includes love, money, abundance, spirituality, and everything in between.
It's beautiful. Thank you. All right. So Lori, will you share with them how to participate in the challenge?
Yeah, so every day, we're going to be here live on the Zoom, 10 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. So if you can attend live with us, that's, kind of the gold standard. That's the best possible scenario, because then you can get any questions answered. You can be in the energy of this space, but watching the replay is going to be really powerful for you as well. And, hearing the knowledge that we're going to share with you, it really is only half of the work, maybe even less than half of the work, because if you really want to have change, you have to, and really start, to discover the authentic self and live authentically, you have to take what you're learning here, take what we're talking about, and see how it applies to you. Integrate it into your life. So that is why we created the integration workbook. Allison has already downloaded hers, and she's going to be using it each day of the challenge. So we really encourage you to make sure that you have that and you're working with it. If you don't have it handy, that's okay. We're going to send it out along with the replay of every video. So no excuses, right? It's going to be there available to you. And we say it all the time, but education does not equal transformation. To have real change, you got to roll up your sleeves, right? And do the work. So again, we just really encourage you to make sure that you do that. We were very careful to make those assignments very succinct and short and easy, so that you can, spend 10 to 15 minutes in there every day. But if you don't get to it, a lot of times we hear people say, oh, I'm behind, so I didn't show up on day 3 or whatever, because I didn't do the homework on day 2. That's not the important part. You have the workbook, you can take it forward, show up anyway, and get all that you can out of this experience. And we also know, it's so important to have help, guidance, and support as you go through and make discoveries and inquiries like this one. So we've created a special place in our calendar. We've been blocking it off for quite a while now to make sure that it was safe. We have room for 50 people to get breakthrough sessions with us. These are free 30-minute calls where we can really help you outline, for how you're going to get from where you are today to where you want to go. These calls are going to be available over the next week. So the link is going to be in the replay video, and all you have to do is open that up and pick your spot, and we'll do the rest. This is a really important aspect, and something that we're really honored to be giving so much of our time. But like I said, there's a limited number of spots, and they're time sensitive as well. So don't wait. Even though we're in the first day of the challenge, you want to get your call booked so that we can start talking about what you're finding out and what you're discovering as you're going through the material. We also want to invite you to post in the Facebook group each day of the challenge. What was your main takeaway? What was your aha moment? What did you find as you were exploring the integration work? What was something that you liked? It doesn't matter. Putting your energy into the Facebook group is important for you, because that's the way you show up and declare, hey, this is what I'm ready for, right? The universe is looking to you. It's like, is Nicole actually ready? Is she really going out and grabbing this? One way you can do that is by posting in the Facebook group. And the other reason is, you're going to help all the other people in this incredible community that's growing every day, literally growing every day. You're going to help them, and you're going to be just, building that energy. And we're going to be in the Facebook group, of course. We're going to be able to support you there. So for all of those reasons, this is how you can best participate in the challenge.
That's so beautiful. So to review this, you watch the teachings that we've done here, dive into the integration work for the day, sign up for your breakthrough call, and post in the Facebook group. We will answer you. One of us will answer you, if not both of us. So please do.
Yeah.
Do these things for the next 4 days that you spend time with us, and you will open up to a powerful shifts. And we're not kidding. When you participate, especially live, the energy is so much different, so much greater. Here's a summary of the day-to-day content. Okay, so day 1, what is the authentic self? Day 2, which is tomorrow, how to tell when you are in touch with your authentic self. Really important. People ask that question all the time. Day 3, tools are connecting, tools for connecting to our authentic self. And day 4, how do you live a life of authenticity?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one thing to know yourself and another thing to actually live.
And feel it.
Yes.
And feel
Yes,
it.
absolutely. So today's content, which I absolutely love, you know, a lot of people will say they never really been in contact. They don't even know what it's like, right, to be in that space of being authentic. So what is the authentic self? If you want to navigate life as the most powerful, resourceful, brilliant person that you are, the starting point is to know who you are, to find out who you are, right? Because this is your greatest self. And this is the self that shows up powerfully in life and is a firmly rooted version that navigates life with confidence and ease. So when you think about the authentic self, we kind of define it as, you know, kind of the truest version of you, the truth of who you are. It's the person you are when you're most deeply connected to your inner wisdom. It's the person you were meant to be, right? The person that's the best version of you, who you are when no one's looking, who you are when you feel free, connected, and alive, and who you are when you are most joyful and content. You know, that space, that gorgeous space of being and you know, completely settled and content and feeling unstoppable. Maybe you've had glimpses of that. Maybe you spend lots of time there, which is wonderful. But that's the space that you know is authentic. So would you address kind of the question, well, how did I get disconnected from my authentic self, right? Because when we were born, you were in perfect harmony with your authentic self. No one comes into the world thinking, what should I do? Am I good enough? Am I important? Right? When we come into the world, we know that we are magnificent. But over time, right, we start to develop another side to us. And Mia and I call this self the civic self, because that self is very aware of the other people in our lives and the other messages that we're receiving. And it just learns how to take into account those opinions and desires of those around you, the messages that we're getting from TV, from media, from everywhere. And it causes us to kind of start to identify with that version in order to keep the peace, in order to feel good about ourselves, to feel secure that we'll be liked, right? Because at the end of the day, we're social beings, right? Driven into our DNA is the need to fit into the group and please other people. And this was a really good instinct to have when we were living in tribal settings, because if you were forced out of the group, you were pretty much, that was a death sentence, right? Something as simple as a sprained ankle or a little sickness could mean death for you if there was nobody around to help you. Now, all of us, you know, we're all going to stray a little bit from time to time from our most authentic self. And sometimes the environment in which we either grew up in or currently exist in can make it really hard to stay connected to our authentic selves. So, for example, if, you know, there were parents, siblings, teachers, other powerful influencers in your life that didn't really, or maybe they were intolerant, right, of your thoughts or your self-expression, you may have learned very early on to start silencing that, right, and behave in ways that didn't cause conflict. Over time, all of these messages that we're fed every single day kind of blocked access to your authentic self. Now, the authentic self never goes away, so don't worry about that. You always will be able to get reconnected with your authentic self. But, you know, over time, all of these messages very, very often cause us to be who we think we need to be, right? Who we think we should be in order to feel safe, in order to feel loved. So the messages from the civic self become easier and easier to hear. And the messages from the authentic self become a little bit quieter. And so here we are in this space, really trying to reconnect with that voice, no matter how quiet the whisper is at this point, reconnecting with the authentic self, being able to tell the difference, right, between authentic and civic. That's really a first and very important step in being able to just identify what is authentic to me. Yeah, Mia, what's it like for us when we start to ascertain that and start to live from that space of authenticity? We talked about what it's like to not be in that space and to feel confused a lot, to lack confidence, to not know what we want and have no idea how to make it happen, right?
Yeah.
What's it like when we are connected?
So when we're connected, it's really powerful. I mean, everyone has gone into their authentic space without even realizing it at one time or another. And that's the very cool thing, because most people are like, you're talking about the authentic self and the civic self, and I don't know which is which and who am I? Well, welcome to today. And that's what this is all about. So the authentic self is literally where you're open and alive, that brilliant feeling of being open and alive. People can feel more connected to you. And even though there may be one or two people who don't like you that way, you know that it doesn't bother you because you've done your work and you've opened up to who you are. You are connected to your gifts and to life. And that's the reflection that you want to project to the world, is who you actually are. You feel good about your contribution to the world, and you know you have a meaning by just being you. Now, that's something that's going to be hard for some people to understand, but when you feel it, you know it, and you're not proud of it as in pride, but proud of it as in love for self.
And grateful for it, right? So
Yes.
grateful.
Yeah, there's a sense of true well-being and freedom that comes from living authentically. And we really want you to feel that. So today's day one integration. Who were the biggest influences for you in your life so far? Very important question. What did they teach you about life and who you should be? You can think about it in terms of following a topic as well as any others that come up for you. Plan to spend at least 15 minutes on this exercise to uncover. There's a lot there for you to uncover. 15 minutes isn't a lot. We've condensed this challenge specifically for you to achieve exactly what you want. You'll have the opportunity to look at what you have been taught and about some very important aspects of life, such as, what is the definition of success? How many hours in a day is appropriate to work per day? How much time should I spend on activities simply for the sake of enjoying myself? This is how I personally live. So this is very cool. I'm so glad that you guys are going to do this. How do you deserve to be taken care of by yourself and others? Who should you be for the other person in your life? Such powerful questions. Now ask yourself how your answers compare to your authentic self. These would be the same questions, but with probably different answers. Keep in mind that your authentic self knows that you are worthy and that you are good enough no matter what. How do the two sets of answers compare? No judgment, okay, guys? No judgment. Go into that space of kindness, no judgment. So remember, don't forget to post in the Facebook group and schedule your call. We already have people scheduling calls, and so we'd love you to take advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So this was, today's topics. We really want to keep this very doable for you. Some of the feedback that we get about challenges in general is people say, oh, it's so much content. I couldn't really get into it because there was just, just such an abundance of material and, teaching. And so we wanted to design this with that in mind.
Yeah.
These are things for you to take away and contemplate. It's not necessarily that you need so much more in the way of teaching. We want to open this up, right? I don't know who your authentic self is. We want to serve as your guides to help open you up to asking the questions, creating the spaces. And that's really what this challenge is going to help you do. So again, please spend a few minutes exploring this. Don't feel like you have to know all the answers, right? This is a space where we're just kind of scratching at the surface a little bit to see what might come up. So like scientists or courageous explorers, let's go into this integration work and the rest of the challenge just excited for who you're going to discover, that next version of you that is powerful and brilliant. And I can't wait to see not only some of the realizations that come out of this, these 4 days together, Mia, but also, what it wakes people up to as far as this is the kind of life that I want. What is that for you? And I think that's also a really good question for you to ask yourself. What do I want? Like what is my authentic self telling me? Maybe I want to double my income. Maybe I want to create a incredibly passionate relationship where we're just, it's so into each other and just living in this, gorgeous, connected, soul-led place. Maybe I want to, I want to feel on fire for how I spend my days. Maybe I want to create more joy, enjoyment, just room to breathe and have fun and laugh. So what is your authentic self telling you is meant for you? That is the exciting part, right? And it's a glorious place to start.
And if some of these questions you say, oh, I've already done that work before, remember this. We evolve and elevate to specific places, right? We're always growing, especially if you're on a journey and you're here. Your desire is to grow. So the way you look at it, yes, it might be your authentic self coming through, but it's going to be different. It's also a beautiful reminder, if you already know some of these answers, to recognize, like the very first one, who influenced you the most growing up. I did that work. Lori did that work when we first started on ourselves years ago. And what I discovered was my I am statement of who I am. So this is why this is important. Who am I really? Because we are influenced by people, but we are also influenced by great people, by great beings that have helped create us who we are today.
Yeah.
I think it's so lovely.
Right?
Yeah. It's so thrilling to me. The most important thing, it's the self-devotion work that Lori and I are bringing out. This type of work is the highest level of self-love. People can go around and do self-love tools all they want, but until you dig deep inside, and this is, I'm not going to put any names behind my name about self-love, but most of I've been studying self-love for 40 years and I've been teaching it for 15. So my point here is to evolve to a place where you can look at yourself and do this work is self-love.
Self-devotion, right? Yes. Beautiful. Well, as we go through the 4 days, I want to invite you to have as your kind of the umbrella, the question, authentic self. What do we want to create? What are we ready for? Right? Pick something. That's kind of one of the main themes, if not the main theme of the Greatest You Academy. Knowing that whatever it is that your authentic self is calling you towards, you can make that happen. You absolutely can have anything that your authentic self is telling you is meant for you. So let's dive in. Let's get to know this authentic self. Open the door, create the meeting space, like we sometimes say, for this authentic self, so that it can lead us to the next level of life that we are ready to create and live into.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.